This bill will raise strong views across the Chamber, as already illustrated by the three frontbench introductions, for which I thank all three, because I believe you have served the House well in all three cases. I hope that we can have a debate that is reasoned and evidence-based, ever mindful of the individual humanity of each asylum seeker and refugee of whom we speak. This bill needs to be addressed against the Home Office's own values of being compassionate, respectful, courageous and collaborative. Other values are important too. The value of every human being as one made in the image of and loved by God. The value we place on the rights of the child, both through the United Nations and the Children Act 1989. Then there are the values relating to the right to family life. This bill has the stated intention to stop criminal gangs and to increase the fairness of the asylum system. These aims are good. We don't want to see any more people losing their lives so tragically in the Channel, as we saw last year. But in its current form, the bill is unlikely to achieve either of these goals. It will make the asylum system more complicated and cumbersome, be less fair, provide less safe routes, and be more expensive. The differential treatment of refugees according to their mode of arrival is central to the bill and causes me very deep concern. The government's underlying premise in this approach is that the harder we make it for asylum seekers in the UK, the less they will come. We have seen no evidence to support this approach. Indeed, if making conditions harder for asylum seekers had the desired effect, we wouldn't be faced with this bill today. We have an asylum system which is set up to establish the veracity of an asylum claim. Let's rely on that, not on the method of entry. We are part of a global system underpinned by the Refugee Convention, which enables distribution of those requiring protection to a range of countries. An approach of first safe country sends a dangerous message to countries with far larger refugee populations, legitimising the avoidance of international responsibilities. It suggests that support for refugees should only fall on a small number of poorer countries. This is highly concerning as it undermines who we are as a nation. It does not demonstrate being collaborative with or respectful of other nations. Despite safe routes being central to the premise of the bill, we don't see any detail of them. We will not put criminal gangs out of business without expanding safe alternative routes. I'm proud that since 2015 the UK has been a global leader in refugee resettlement. This, however, sadly is no longer the case. Only 1,163 people resettled to the UK in the first 9 months of 2021, compared to the 28,000 people arriving across the Channel. We need to build on our proud history of resettlement for the future. We need an ambitious yet deliverable target of at least 10,000 places per year. Refugee family reunion is a vital safe route, enabling mainly women and children to reunite with their husbands and fathers. So important both for families to be together and for integration. In this bill, however, family reunion will effectively be non-existent as Group 2 refugees will no longer qualify. This does not demonstrate compassionate values. We also need to explore humanitarian visas much more for those with the basis of a strong claim from certain countries or for those with family in the UK. The Home Office should be exploring this as a way of collaborating with both near neighbours and those further away. Children are rarely talked about in this bill. If the aim is to make the immigration system fairer, it needs to begin by putting in place protections for those who need it most, especially children. My Lords, this bill should be an opportunity to create a fair, compassionate and effective asylum system that works for the taxpayer, for communities and for those seeking asylum. Sadly, on many counts, I fear that it does not work. We on these benches will be working with others to propose a range of amendments. I fear it fails the Home Office's own values, and certainly this bill fails to uphold the UN Convention on Refugees and the rights of the child.